Hi, my name's Nina, and I'm here to read an essay from Ursula Le Guin's book, The Wave in the Mind. It's an absolutely beautiful essay. It deals with language and communication, the difference between machines and humans, and communicating with people who are far away versus people who are close by. And something about the essay, when I read it, it just made me want to read it out loud and share it. So I hope you'll enjoy. These days, not only do we have literacy to confuse this whole issue of human communication by language, we also have what Ong calls secondary orality. Primary orality refers to people who talk but don't write, or the people we refer to as primitive, illiterate, preliterate, and so on. Secondary orality comes along after literacy and derives from it. It is less than 100 years old. Secondary orality is radio, TV recordings, and such, in general what we call the media. A good deal of media presentation has a script and is therefore primarily written and secondarily oral. But these days, its most meaningful distinction from primary orality is that the speaker has no present audience. If, instead of writing this, I were giving a speech, your being in the same room listening to me would be a necessary condition of my talking. That's primary orality, a relationship of speaker and listeners. President Lincoln stands up and begins 7 years ago to a crowd of more or less interested people at Gettysburg. His voice, said to have been rather thin and soft, makes a relationship between him and them, establishing community. Primary orality. Grandfather tells a coyote tale to a circle of grown-ups and kids on a winter evening. The story affirms and explains their community as a people and among other living beings. Primary orality. The anchorman on the 6 o'clock news stares out of the box, not at us because he can't see us, because we aren't where he is, or even when he is. He is in Washington, D.C. 2 hours ago, reading what he says off a running tape. He can't see us or hear us, nor can we see or hear him. We see and hear an image, a simulacrum of him. There's no relationship between us and him. There's no interchange, no mutuality between us and him. There is no intersubjectivity. His communication goes one way and stops there. We receive it, if we choose to. Our behaviour, even our presence or absence, makes absolutely no difference to what he says or how he says it. If nobody was listening, he would not know it, and would go right on talking exactly the same way until his sponsors found out, eventually, from the Nielsen ratings and fired him. Secondary orality. I read this speech into a recorder and it's taped. You buy it and listen to it. You hear the sound of my voice, but we have no actual relationship, any more than we would if you were reading the piece in print. Secondary orality.